This evening, Member of Parliament Shara Duncan suspended from the National Assembly for the next 4 sit-ins. Police allegedly refuses to investigate online death threats. Stick around to find out the reason. Police discovered a multi-million-dollar cannabis farm in the Upper Berbice River area. In the region, Argentina, thousands protest in Buenos Aires against IMF debt deal. And internationally, targeted harassment. Muslim girls in India denounce hijab ban. Greetings and welcome to another edition of Channel 2 Headline News Updates. I am Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. On Wednesday, the Speaker of the National Assembly, Mansour Nadir, suspended opposition Member of Parliament Shara Duncan after he repeatedly failed to adhere to orders. Duncan, during the deliberation of Region 5's budget estimates, began lambasting the government parliamentarians. At the time, Duncan was expressing disgust over remarks made by local government minister Nigel Darmlal. Responding to Duncan's heckles, Darmlal conveyed Duncan may want a marital aid device. When the remarks was made, no opposition parliamentarians nor the Speaker of the National Assembly objected. Duncan was heard repeating the word nasty and even accused the Speaker of the House of being prejudicial. Calls by Nadir for him to be seated went unheeded. The parliamentarian was suspended after ignoring the Speaker's warning. Gail Teixeira, the Minister of Parliamentary Affairs and Governance, moved a motion that Duncan be suspended for the next 4 sit-ins. Votes were subsequently cast in this regard. Earlier today, Darmlal said he was provoked by repeated insults from several opposition parliamentarians, including Shara Duncan, into making the comments in Parliament, but said he was sorry for those who took umbrage. A tragic collision between an ATV and a motor lorry is being investigated by the police in Northwest District. Esther Sobers has more.
Police ranks in Regional Division 1 are investigating a fatal accident at Eyelash Main Access Road, Northwest District, between an ATV and a motor lorry on Wednesday, February 9th. Dead is a pillion rider, 45-year-old Nigel Knights of Charity Public Road, Essequibo Coast. The ATV motorcycle, driven by 36-year-old Rovin James of Charity Essequibo, was proceeding north along the main access road with 2 pillion riders. The deceased, Nigel Knights, was seated on the left side carrier, and 39-year-old Leslie Norton of Haima Top Bagdam, Northwest District, was on the right side behind the driver. According to reports, the ATV motorcycle was descending a hill at a fast rate of speed when the driver suddenly lost control. As a result, the left side of the ATV where Knights was seated collided with the front side of the motor lorry GZZ 4598, which was descending the hill and traveling at normal speed south in the direction of the main road. The motor lorry was driven by 38-year-old Ryan Van Lane of South Vicelos, East Coast, Demerara. The occupants of the ATV motorcycle fell, causing both pillion riders to receive injuries to their heads and bodies. Nigel Knights became unconscious, while Leslie Norton was semi-conscious. They were both taken to the Port Kaitumo District Hospital. Knights was pronounced dead and Norton was treated and referred to the Georgetown Public Hospital for further medical attention via private aircraft. The body of the deceased is presently lying at the Port Kaitumo District Hospital mortuary awaiting a post-mortem examination. The drivers have been served with notices of intended prosecution as investigations are on the way. The ATV driver is detained at the Matthews Ridge Police Station. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. During an eradication exercise, members of the Ghana Police Force discovered a multi-million-dollar cannabis farm in the Upper Berbice River area. Dale Jarvis has more.
Ranks of Regional Division No. 6 conducted an eradication exercise at Fort Nasha Savannah, Upper Berbice, on February 8. During the operation, 2 marijuana farms were discovered. The first farm consisted of about 10,000 cannabis sativa plants, ranging from 3 to 5 feet in height, with a street value of $4 million. A second farm was discovered nearby with approximately 450 marijuana beds, previously harvested, and a makeshift camp with 900 pounds of compressed cannabis sativa valued at $27 million. A nursery consisting of 5,000 plants along with a .38 revolver and a single-barrel shotgun were also found. No arrests were made. Reports are that as the police approached the camp, 3 males ran into the nearby bushes and escaped. The makeshift camp, plants, and compressed cannabis sativa were destroyed by fire. The firearms were taken to the Central Police Station and lodged. Reporting for Headline News Update, Dale Jarvis.
Thanks, Dale. Stick around after the break. Police allegedly refused to investigate online death threats. Stick around to find out the reason. And customs authorities seized an amount of disguised cannabis at the Ogle Airport.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Maison Francois is the chocolate paradise of Guyana. From the moment you enter our store, you are welcomed by the sweet aroma of Belgian chocolate, pastries and other artisanal treats handmade by our European-trained chef. Our convenient location at the City Mall is the perfect place to take that special someone or to take home a little sweetness. So treat yourself with a taste of Paris in the heart of Georgetown, only at Maison Francois.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Health is working to improve Ghana's COVID-19 testing response by procuring enough COVID-19 tests and making them available to the general public. Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony, during Wednesday's COVID-19 update, said approximately 2,219 tests had been conducted daily since the beginning of this year, doubling the number of tests done in 2021. According to the health minister, about 7,000 children have been tested positive for COVID-19 since the pandemic began in 2020. He explained that if a child recovers from the coronavirus but has effects of long COVID, they should be taken to the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation to be evaluated and treated. As of Wednesday, 83.3% of the country's adult population took the first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine, while 62.3% is fully vaccinated. In terms of adolescents, 45.2% of this age cohort took the first dose of the Pfizer vaccine, while 32.3% took both doses. Police are allegedly refusing to investigate online death threats because the culprit did not address the victim by name, only by an alias. As the sobers spoke with the victim, who was unclear what to do next.
31-year-old Melinda James, a mother of three, is fearful for her life after she was allegedly threatened by her cousin, whom she claims made a video recording and told family members that she would kill her. A traumatized James subsequently went to the Cove and John police station to report the matter. However, she was told by the officer on duty that the police cannot arrest the cousin making the threats, simply because the woman referred to her exclusively by her alias, Fine Things, rather than her given name. Headline News spoke to James, who explained what caused the grievance.
It had this place to rent. My mom asked me to assist my cousin this place to rent. But I explained to my mom, I do not want family to live around me. So I end up now, you know how to know that with family, go and get through this place. I explained to her that I would have to be the one to say that I want the place to rent, and the rent receipt would be in my name. She said, okay, she agreed to everything. Now I end up get through the place, pay the money now, and get through the place for her. Her husband was to meet with me for me and him to go, that he can stand up for she, you understand, to get through the place. He didn't get to meet with me. I end up now take my money and pay to get through the house for her. And she end up moving the house the other week. The next week now, the owner them for the house come to check on the place to see how I am coping in the house, because I lately moved in the house. And I told her, if they come and they didn't see me, tell them you and me's cousin, and I gone out and you just come to assist me. She told them the opposite story, that I am living next door and she's the one renting the place. Unfortunate, the owner them for the house know her. The owner teach our kids in school. And she said that she don't want her in the house. She didn't rent the house to her. And I have to be the one to get her out of the house because she rent the house to me. She gave her 1 week to move out. I begged for 1 month, which she say, okay, fine, give her 1 month.
According to James, her cousin only spent a week in the house and was fully refunded. Nonetheless, verbal threats were still made against James.
Last week, I had a cousin that died. I went on a funeral to Berbice. And I saw her. I tried my best to avoid her. And one of her sisters called my mother and told my mother that how say that she's going to burn me with acid. And if she burn me, that I going to get blind and I ain't going to see back. So that is when now I start to say, I can't sit and I can't sleep on this one. I need to make a report and let our name get out there and see what help I could get now. You understand? Because I can't get born from acid. I have 3 children that I have to live for. She make a video last week Sunday concerning that she want to chop me in my head and on my mouth. She want to kill me and then kill herself. For what reason? I do not know.
Headline News viewed the videos made by James' cousin. In the video, threats were made to the individual, which only identified the person by their alias, Fine Things, and first name Melissa.
So presently, there is no report could make at no police station because she didn't call me by my first name. That's what they say. And they say that I shouldn't put the video out because she didn't call me by my first name.
James intends to pursue the case further because she's concerned that if the authorities do not intervene, she will die or be gravely hurt. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. Customs authorities seized an amount of disguised cannabis at the Ogle Airport. Dale Jarvis has the details.
Officers of the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit, whilst on duty at the Eugene F. Correa International Airport, conducted a search of a passenger and his luggage, which resulted in the discovery of a quantity of suspected cannabis in 2 Pringles tins on February 8, 2022. 24-year-old Jamal Millington of Amelia's Ward Linden was arrested and escorted to Kanu headquarters with the suspected narcotics, where it was tested and proven to be cannabis, weighing a total of 56.3 grams. Investigations are ongoing. Reporting for Headline News Update, Dale Jarvis.
Thanks, Dale. Don't go away after the break. Ecuador top court upholds indigenous rights against mining, oil projects, and targeted harassment. Muslim girls in India denounce hijab ban. But before that, here's the bridge retraction schedule.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Maison Francois is the chocolate paradise of Guyana. From the moment you enter our store, you are welcomed by the sweet aroma of Belgian chocolate, pastries and other artisanal treats handmade by our European-trained chef. Our convenient location at the City Mall is the perfect place to take that special someone or to take home a little sweetness. So treat yourself with a taste of Paris in the heart of Georgetown, only at Maison Francois.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Welcome back. Here's Esther Sobers with today's regional and international news.
Good evening. Now we take a look at news in the region and around the world. Thousands march on the streets of Argentina's capital to protest against a loan repayment deal with the IMF, fearing the economic fallout on their lives. Al Jazeera Teresa Bo reports.
They came to express their anger about the negotiations between Argentina and the International Monetary Fund. Thousands of people in front of the presidential palace demanded the government to prioritize the people instead of the IMF. Jorge Altamira has been a lawmaker for years.
The government is renegotiating the agreement and they know they won't be able to pay it. And in 2 years we will have the same problem. We cannot pay back that amount of money without strangling the poorest.
In 2018, the IMF granted the government of Mauricio Macri the biggest loan in its history, over $50 billion. Argentina says it needs to recover from the pandemic and wants to pay back once the economy starts growing again.
Argentina is seeking its 22nd agreement with the International Monetary Fund to stabilize the economy struggling with high inflation rates and high poverty. The government is hoping to announce a staff-level agreement in the next month before sending it to Congress. People here are extremely concerned about the impact that the agreement will have in their lives.
Romina Wancini says she's not concerned about the IMF, but about Argentina's economy. Inflation is expected to surpass 50% this year.
Inflation is affecting us all commercial businesses because of the prices. Today you have one price, the next day another. The dollar increases and it has an impact in inputs, in transport, so we are scared and it paralyzes us. We just want the uncertainty to end.
Economists say an agreement with the IMF is crucial to prevent Argentina from being isolated from international financial markets.
Argentina has no option. It's either agree with the IMF or default. To default is to relive the crisis of 2001, and nobody wants to be in that situation again. And that's why any alternative is better than a default. We see an agreement as a positive step if it helps Argentina increase its central bank reserves and stabilize the economy.
But these people are not convinced. They say the IMF measures have hurt them in the past, and they fear it could happen again. Teresa Bo, Al Jazeera, Buenos Aires.
Meanwhile, Ecuador's highest court has ruled that indigenous communities must have more say over oil and mining projects that impact their land. The ruling is a blow to the government's ambitious plans to double oil production and expand mining, most of which takes place in the Amazon rainforest. Al Jazeera Lucia Newman reports.
This is the ancestral territory of the Aicofan community of Sinangue at the entrance of the Amazon basin in Ecuador. For generations, this indigenous community has lived off of what the rainforest provides, from food to medicine and boats. But when they discovered that their territory was being invaded by gold mining projects all along their river, the isolated community took action, men and women.
We also have the right to protect, care for and patrol our territory, to identify the most impacted areas, to tell the state enough contamination, enough of putting our territories in danger.
But their indigenous patrols weren't enough.
We began going to the capital, to the mining ministry, to see what was happening, and we discovered that the government had approved 52 mining concessions for 25 years. There was never any consultation, nothing.
With the legal assistance of the NGO Amazon Frontlines, the community brought a lawsuit against Ecuador's government. Al Jazeera was visiting the community when they received the Supreme Court verdict.
You've won, you've won.
The unprecedented ruling obliges the state to consult communities over oil and mining projects that impact their land and to seek their consent. It applies not just to this indigenous community, but to all those all over the country, many of whom suffer massive environmental damage from the oil industry, the country's largest. The ruling is a blow to the government's ambitious plans to double oil production and significantly expand mining, most of which take place in the Amazon.
Now we can see this movement spreading across Ecuador and spreading across the Amazon, because what's happening in Ecuador is actually happening all over the Amazon.
Ecuador's Mining Association insists that responsible mining is imperative for the country's development.
This is an indispensable industry for human beings and also for our economic welfare. We don't oppose consulting communities, but we oppose being discriminated.
The tiny Sinangue community has won a huge battle. But it may not necessarily have the last word, since the court ruling does leave room for exceptions in the name of overriding national interests. Lucia Newman, Al Jazeera.
And internationally, for 4 days, a group of 28 Muslim girls stood in protest in front of a junior pre-university college in the Karnataka state after they were denied entry for wearing hijab, an issue that has snowballed over other colleges in the southern state. Al Jazeera Pavani Mittal reports.
Videos that define the growing tensions in the state of Karnataka in southern India. Students aligned with Hindu groups heckle a woman for wearing a burqa as competing religious chants are heard.
Every religion has freedom. They are following their culture and I'm following mine. They should let us follow our culture and not raise obstacles for us.
A few weeks ago, 6 teenage students were barred from wearing headscarves in the classroom. Those protests have now spread across the state, with more women demanding the right to cover their heads in class. Opposing them are Hindu groups. They've been marching wearing saffron-colored scarves and shawls, and some hoisted a saffron flag. The color is considered sacred by many Hindus.
Uniform is same for everyone, whether it is Hindu, Muslim or Christian. They should abide and wear uniform, and the hijab has to be kept outside the gate.
The state government run by Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Bharatiya Janata Party has supported school and college administrators in banning Muslim girls wearing headscarves in class. The row has reignited the debate about minority rights in India.
That these Hindu supremacist groups are the same, the self-same groups that since 2008 attack women in the same coastal Karnataka area for visiting pubs, for wearing Western clothes. Valentine's Day is coming up, and the same groups will be out on the streets heckling couples, lovers who are sitting together and saying that you're not allowed to fraternize with somebody who's not your husband and so on. So these are extremely regressive groups. There is nothing feminist about their objection to hijab. They are merely trying to prevent any, shrink the spaces for Muslims in colleges and shrink the spaces for interaction between Hindu and Muslim.
The state government closed all high schools and colleges until Friday, while the High Court judges hear legal arguments and decide whether or not the law on constitutional freedoms is being broken. Pavni Mittal, Al Jazeera, New Delhi.
Thanks, Esther. Here now is your 3-day weather forecast. That is it for this edition of Channel 2 Headline News Updates. Tune in on Friday at 5:30 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Until then, please take care of yourselves and each other.